Hello and welcome to Essential Self-Care Strategies. I'm Lisa Machala from the Collaborative Body. Today we're continuing our conversation about essential oils, but with a twist. This one's different. Today we're talking about some of our most beloved relationships, the relationships we have with our animals. If you've been following me for a while, you know about my connection to animals and the work that I do with animals. And so this is a topic of particular interest to me and is close to my heart because as much as I love to look for and use natural remedies and holistic practices for my health, I also like to do the same thing for the animals in my life. So we're continuing our conversation today around essential oils and using them with companion animals. And I'm pleased to welcome back again Sara Barnhill. Sara is an executive leader with Young Living Essential Oils, and for several years, she has been sharing her knowledge and love of essential oils with others through workshops and classes that she does both locally here in the Metro Detroit area as well as online. So you'll be hearing more from Sara at the end of this video about her special offer to you. But I definitely want us to jump in and get started about how to use essential oils with our companion animals or pets. So Sara, thank you so much for being here. And if you could give us sort of your top 3 picks of essential oils for our companion animals.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love this topic too. So my top 3 would certainly be using lavender for calming or any allergic reactions. If you have a pet that's anxious in the car, for example, lavender would be a good option. Peppermint is great for any digestive discomfort, vomiting, heat stroke also because it's cooling. And then third, I'd have to say thieves or a similar blend for any bacteria, infection, inflammation, infection in general. It's a great option.
Okay. So let's sort of break this down one at a time. How would you, I guess before we talk about each of the oils, let's first talk about the safety of how you safely approach introducing essential oils to your companion animals, your pets, and specifically which ways, how do you dose and which ways do you dose or provide the essential oil to the animal?
Yeah, that's a great place to start and really important thing to go over. So the key to using essential oils with your pets is to go slow and not rush it. Don't push your animal. They'll respond better when they're comfortable and used to the odors. Their sense of smell is a lot stronger than ours. We have to remember that. They're much more sensitive than our human systems are. So you want to start with a very small amount of oil. Essential oils are very strong, and with a therapeutic grade oil, you only need a drop in most instances to start with. A great way to introduce oils to your pet is to apply them to yourself first. So you can diffuse them in the space where the animal is, get them comfortable with that scent. You can wear the oils, you can apply it right on your hand and then let the animal, kind of gently smell it. They'll let you know. You'll know if they, my dog will come and lick it, or she'll just turn her head, or she'll bolt the other way. You'll know how much they like or dislike it, right? So avoid using any hot oils, a real strong oil. Just use common sense and err on the side of caution. Always have a carrier oil on hand when you're using oils topically on your pet. You never want to use water with oils because they drive it more into the skin. The animal size matters. So with a very small animal, you always want to dilute very heavily with a carrier oil. Like 75, 80, even 90% carrier oil to a drop of oil.
Okay.
especially with a small animal. With a larger animal, like my dog's 65 pounds, I may take, 1 or 2 drops of oil, add 1 or 2 drops of carrier oil, and apply it that way. With a large animal like a horse, you can use several drops and not dilute it, but most people don't have horses. So, yeah, those are the main things that I would want people to be aware of.
Okay. So when you mentioned the 3 primary oils to sort of have in your first aid kit for animals, lavender, peppermint, and thieves, or a comparable blend for the sort of the disinfectant purposes. For a minute here, I think most people are pretty familiar with lavender, but I'm really curious, Sarah, about peppermint for digestive issues. So one, I'm assuming it's kind of a hot oil, because most of the mints are sort of on the hot side. And if it's digestion, how do you provide this to the animal? How do you get peppermint oil into the animal system safely so that it can help with digestive issues if the animal's vomiting or whatever?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways. And I know the first one, by my own experiences personally, I know I can apply oils topically and it will soothe an upset stomach. It's crazy, but it works. So you can take a couple drops in a small animal, a drop of peppermint oil, add 3 or 4 drops of a carrier oil, just coconut oil, or if you have an animal balm or something, and apply that topically on their chest or tummy. Now they are going to lick it off. That's a good thing. So another reason, though, why you want to always use a pure therapeutic grade oil, because you don't want to be giving your pet or applying on your pet something that is, synthetic or has, other potentially harmful things in it. Now you also I take a little bit of peppermint, dilute it, and drop it on a biscuit, or what do you call them?
Like a dog treat.
Doggy cookie, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and she loves those, so she just gobbles it up.
Okay.
Really, really help her. Yeah.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea, because I thought, well, I was thinking, well, if you put the peppermint oil in their drinking water, they might not drink their water, and water makes it more like I don't know, more intense, right? The sensation's more intense.
Now you can do that, but let me just point out to people, if you put essential oils of any kind in your pet's water, do a little research, but always provide a second bowl of clean water. Because if they want to drink it, you don't want them dehydrated.
Sure, of course.
Gives them, the option to have it with or without.
Yeah. Well, and I like your suggestion about diluting the essential oil with carrier oil, and then using a treat to get the oil in the system. That seems like a pretty fail-proof way of getting them to take it. So I think that's a really smart idea. So for the final oil, you mentioned Thieves, and we know that that's a proprietary blend of Young Living, but I know that there are other manufacturers out there who make similar blends, and certainly there are people that use tea tree oil with a similar, tea tree oil has similar qualities, right, in terms of being antifungal, antibacterial, as a general disinfectant kind of a thing. So tell us how you would use that oil for inflammation or any other concern with an animal.
Yeah, so again, you want to dilute it. And we call it a rose ointment, but any kind of you don't want to use Vaseline because that's a synthetic, but if you have a natural product that you use with your pet for its skin or anything like that, you could use that, or olive oil, coconut oil, something like that. Dilute it and then apply it to the area of need. Now, my dog has an issue with her leg, and I don't know if it's in her paw or her elbow or her shoulder. I just know once in a while she'll jump off the bed and just cry and cry and cry. So I take that and I just rub it topically along her whole leg. I know there's inflammation in there. That's what's causing her some discomfort when it, hits wrong. So if you have, sometimes they'll chew on their leg and kind of get a little raw spot, or itch their back and they get an area that they rub off all the fur, those kinds of things. The same thing, dilute it really well. And then, just apply it topically on there. Don't worry about they're going to lick it off, because one, it's going to absorb pretty quickly to start, and two, it's not a bad thing, again, when you're using the purest oils, for them to have a little bit internally as well is going to fight that any infection or problem off.
Okay, great. That's terrific. So with using essential oils for our companion animals, I know that physiologically, dogs and cats are very different. And so there's a lot of buzz out there about not using essential oils at all for cats, or you have to be super, super careful. And I don't personally have cats. I have dogs, and I've safely used essential oils with my dogs, but let's talk about cats, because that seems to be an area where there's a lot of concern, and I don't know how much of it is justified. So can you speak to that, Sarah? Tell us about safely using essential oils with cats.
Yeah, that's an important topic, and I get a lot of questions from people about cats, because you see some crazy things posted out there on social media and some not so crazy. So it's important to note that cats and essential oils are a potentially dangerous combination for several reasons. So cats differ from dogs in how their bodies metabolize and excrete certain things. And certain substances. And cats don't have the enzymes that are needed to break down certain substances, and this can lead to buildup of those substances in their bodies.
Okay.
So in addition to that, cats have very thin skin, and they don't like strong odors at all. So primarily, I would say don't use oils on your cats or feed them to your cats specifically. Now, that being said, if you use oils around your cats, if you diffuse oils into the environment, it's relatively safe. There are a couple of oils that you may want to avoid, and you may want to have a conversation with your vet. But primarily, you want to always make sure, if you're diffusing the oil into a cat's environment, open a window and or have the door open. Give them a way of escape. Again, they'll let you know if they don't like it. When I turn on my diffuser at night, my dog runs into my room and I don't see her again because she loves it. But cats are probably going to be the opposite. Now, I have a lot of friends that have cats that have been using oils for years, and they use them all over their house. They clean with them, they apply them to themselves, they diffuse them, and their cats don't have any issue. But that each cat's different, and they're going to react differently, and you certainly just want to be aware that it can build up in their system, and be talking to your vet if you're seeing any symptoms or you're just concerned about it.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's really helpful. So I just want to, Sarah, I just want to say thank you for the time that you've spent talking to us about essential oils, and especially this topic of safely using essential oils with our beloved companion animals. And so thank you. And I understand that you have an offer that you'd like to share with viewers, so please go ahead and tell us about that now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been my pleasure being with you through this series and talking about animals and oils. And I would love to answer any additional questions that I can. People can email me at 817-SARA@gmail.com. If you want to email me and include the word offer in the subject line, I will send you an email in return with several attachments, a cheat sheet with tips and tricks that you can use, diffuser recipes to enjoy, different safety tips, links to books and apps and so forth. And I'll include a $25 product credit when you become a Young Living member. So yeah, let me hear from you. I'd love to be of help.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate your time and sharing your knowledge with us about essential oils. So until we meet again, everyone be well and take care. Thank you.
Ta-ta.